just love you as much as I do. So I can actually talk about you with such passion and heart because I have seen you in operation and I know just how good you are at what you do.
Oh, well, thank you.
So for all of those who will be listening to the recording, and we're going to certainly encourage people to do so because you are just that good. So just to let people know, Brian is the sales director of North America for the company called Cerule, which is now our #1 health company in sharing. And he has been around in this direct selling industry for over 26 years. So he is well experienced, knows not only the business side of things, but he also knows the products really, really well. And in my dealings with Brian over the last year or two, I have just been nothing more than impressed by his knowledge, his wisdom, his ability to share and teach at a level that is hard to find. So I'm super excited, Brian. I've been waiting for this day for a long time when we finally got you here on Sharing officially, and we can say welcome, 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 and thank you for doing everything you do for us. And I look forward to learning from you, and I'm ready to take notes. So go ahead and start telling us
Awesome.
about why Cerule was chosen as the #1 health company for sharing.
Fantastic. Well, Jan, thank you. Thank you for that incredible introduction. First of all, I appreciate that. And I will say that it's been my pleasure to work with Sharing and in the past and to get to know some of their incredible leadership. As many of you may or may not know, I'm very, very good friends with Dr. Gamet and Dr. Amy. And we've traveled the world together, to multiple different countries, more in celebration. I think of some of the successes that we've had together in some past things, and I'm just amped up to have the opportunity to work with them here again. And I'm grateful that through my association with them, I get to develop relationships with other, very, very strong, very impactful people with their heart in the right place, like yourself, Jan. So that's always for me. That's the additional gratification that I think comes through this. So I'm gonna try to keep this as always. I try to keep it as brief as possible because I want to respect people's time. I know they have a lot to do, but yeah, the reason why Cerule is kind of, I guess, being elevated to some degree as one of the top health choices with Sharing is because of not just the amazing products, which are absolutely amazing. And there's so many resources out there. In fact, I'm going to show you guys some screenshots of the incredible website that Sharing has put together, so you can actually see what they have there. I'll just give you some of the bullet point screenshots, but also it's because of the opportunity, and Dr. Gamet and I have gone back and forth with this for months and months and months, trying to figure out what is the right way to really help Sharing, the people that are involved with Sharing, to really be able to not only benefit from our products, but also financially, in some cases, really change their lives right from this platform. So I'm going to share my screen. Jen, you just let me know if you can see it, and I'll know that it's working, and then we'll go from there. So are you able to see the screen?
Yep, we can see it. It's awesome.
So
Perfect.
I'm going to minimize the pictures on my side here for a second so I can see the screen. And what I always want to do, and I know many of you have already been exposed to Cerule's products, so I'm not, I don't want to do a complete product overview on Cerule, but I do want to cover two things. One is just how large of an opportunity this is by just talking about the fact that we are literally right now in 73 different markets around the world. Actually, I should say 74 because we just actually opened up China as one of our NFR markets as well last week. So now 74 markets, including some really, really major ones. I know there's a lot of push for a lot of people that want to get into the Chinese market. And I'm not telling you anything that can't be found on Cerule's website, but I just want you to understand that one of the things we love about this is the fact that we've created this one seamless global pay plan. So we have people who are literally putting their kids through private school with commissions from countries that they've never visited. And I kind of really rather enjoy that about Cerule, their ability to operate seamlessly across the world. So I did want to make sure I mentioned that because I know that is a question that comes up a lot with people is where can I do business? And you can simply go on the Cerule site. If you're in the US or Canada, you'll see a US or Canadian flag at the top of the site. You click on that and it'll open up a whole bunch of markets. And then at the bottom of that, there's something that says other markets, and you can click that and you'll get a whole bunch of more marketplaces. So that'll give you an idea of just where you could actually operate with the company and fully go out and acquire customers, acquire IBOs, and make sure that regardless of currency, language, everything, all of our sites, are translated professionally and work perfectly in all the different countries, and all the commissions end up back, with you, where they're supposed to be. Now, the thing I do want to talk about is just our core product, and I will tell you, and then I'll show you some of the snapshots from Dr. Gamet's website, so you understand that there's a lot of supporting information there already. But our core product is a stem cell releasing product called Stem Enhance Ultra. And it's very difficult to understand the value proposition for Stem Enhance Ultra if you don't understand the value proposition of your body's own adult stem cells, which are just insanely important to your health and insanely powerful, right? So adult stem cells are unique in your body for a couple of reasons. One, they have the unique capacity to replicate themselves throughout your entire lifetime. But the other is that once they've actually replicated themselves, they can differentiate into any other type of cell that your body requires for renewal repair. That means that if your body needs new nerve cells for your brain, an adult stem cell can literally turn itself into a new nerve cell for your brain. If your body says, "Oh, well, what we need actually is we need new cardiac cells for the heart," an adult stem cell can turn itself into a new cardiac cell for your heart. So it can be whatever your body requires to literally repair you and ultimately optimize you. Now, the way that it works is pretty amazing, and we've got some really cool ways that we talk about the synergistic relationships between our products. But ultimately, what happens is, whenever your body recognizes that it has damaged or aging cells, it sends out what I like to refer to as a biochemical 911 signal. And that 911 signal goes to your bone marrow. And the reason why it goes there to your bone marrow is because that is where your adult stem cells reside. They're actually sitting in your bone marrow. They wait until they're called upon. They release out into your bloodstream, and they actually ultimately, once they're released out into your bloodstream, then they're gonna migrate from the place where they were released to wherever that 911 signal came from. So once they get to that particular scene of the emergency, right, what they're then going to do is multiply, enter into that particular that organ of that tissue. So enter into your liver, enter into your heart, enter into your pancreas, and they're going to start multiplying again and again and again and turning themselves into brand new versions of whatever cell is required to optimize that tissue or that organ. So again, they go into your heart, they're going to become new cardiac cells. If they go into your liver, new liver cells, your brain, new nerve cells, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And in that way, this is your body's natural repair mechanism, your natural repair and renewal system. Now, when it is operating at an optimal level, it is absolutely amazing. But when it's not operating at an optimal level, it can start to manifest itself in ways that a lot of us would prefer to avoid. When cells are not being replaced like they're supposed to be, it starts to manifest itself with a lot of negative conditions. In fact, people in most disease states, they usually have less than half of the circulating stem cells of a person that is actually healthy. And a lot of scientists for years didn't know why, right? They were trying to figure out what gives here. Why is it that some people have this overabundance of adult stem cells that are bioavailable and they're very healthy, right? And they're able to heal at an accelerated rate, and other people simply don't have that bioavailability, and as a result, they're having conditions that are actually manifesting themselves within their bodies. And what they discovered was that it was actually almost directly related to aging. You see, within your bone marrow, there's something called L-selectin, and this is as technical as I'm going to get, I promise. L-selectin, though, for lack of a better way of saying it, it's a glue that holds your adult stem cells in place until they are called upon. And then that, they're called upon, that glue releases them, and we go through the system that I showed you before. However, As you get older, and when I say older, I mean pretty much every year after the age of 20, right? If you're a normal, healthy person, every year after the age of 20, that glue gets stickier and stickier and stickier. So at the age of 20, your bioavailability for these adult stem cells is at 100%. But by the time you're 50, it's down to just 50% of the bioavailability you had at the age of 20. That means half the times that they're called upon, they never show up. That's how you should think about it. You're dialing 911, and half the times that you dial 911, the first responders never show up. By the age of 65, it's down to just 10%, which means 90% of the time that a first responder is needed, they're not going to show up. And you can imagine what's going to happen there. Let's say that first responder is a fireman, and 90% of the time, if people call the firemen, they don't show up, the whole town's going to burn down, right? So that is just, again, in a healthy person, that's their progression. Now, lifestyle can also dramatically increase that rate of decline. So stress, poor sleep, toxins, poor diet, poor exercise habits, illness, all of these things can make it so that a person maybe in their mid 30s or 40s has the availability of a person in their 50s or 60s just because of some of these lifestyle choices. So again, very problematic. Now, what our scientists, though, is they dared to ask the question, which was, what if? What if there was a way for us to increase the bioavailability of people's adult stem cells, not just over long periods of time, like years or months, but what if we could do it every single day or even multiple times per day? What would that mean? After all, if adult stem cells can become anything your body requires, you get enough new heart cells, right, to your heart to optimize your heart. It's going to be reflected in your health in terms of better circulation, right? If we were able to optimize your kidneys, you'd be better detoxing skin, cartilage cells, better movement, less pain, lungs, better breathing, better immunity. And the list would simply go on and on and on, right? Better vision, blood sugar regulation, detoxing and energy, memory, concentration, focus, etc. All of these things being able to be optimized now because we've now set it up where your body can actually get what it needs in terms of the amount of adult stem cells that it needs. Guys, that is what our core product does. Stem Enhanced Ultra, we call it SEU for short. One incredible product comprised of 3 aquatic superfoods that when combined together, Phanazomidon plus aqua, AFA, bocoidin, and mesenchyme, deliver that result that I just actually talked about. That is why this product on its own is all the rage, right? People can't get it quick enough. They have gone out. A lot of people have gotten a lot of excitement now around about stem cell injections. And, I've heard people pay anyway, as little as $5,000 for a stem cell injection. I've heard people paying as much as $50,000 for a stem cell injection. And the interesting thing is those are just very concentrated injections into one spot for a condition or a problem that you are aware of, but they're not actually stem cells flowing all over your body and handling all of the problems that you're not aware. Because that, as I think many of you would probably realize, by the time you become aware of a problem, it's normally pretty bad, right? Which is why you are aware of it, right? So the cool thing about having adult stem cells flooding into your body every single day, which is every time you take one of these capsules, is that they're able to constantly be in a process of responding to these emergencies, these fires when they're small, right? Before they start raging out of control and consuming everything. Responding to all these small fires and putting them out before they actually become a problem. So what's great is not just the conditions and everything that we hear about. We hear all these incredible testimonials from people. It's also the ones that we never get to hear about because it never got to that point. Now, that's just one of our products, which is all about stem cell release. We've also got products for circulation. We've got products for inflammation. We've got a collagen products, skincare products, et cetera, et cetera. And we've just rolled out some amazing new products, including a hydration product that I know Dr. Gamet and Dr. Amy are very excited about. It's actually up on their website, which I'm going to show you here in a second. But that literally, if you drink one, you take a powder, you put it in water, stir it up, you drink 1 glass of it. It's replacing electrolytes, doing all these things. Drinking 1 glass of that product is equivalent to drinking 3 bottles of water. So it's 3 times the hydration of just drinking water on its own. And it also has our incredible Sciactive ingredient in there. So at the same time that you're rehydrating your body, which will eliminate a lot of problems, right? If most people are just better hydrated, you're also, fighting inflammation within your body as well. So it's a huge, huge recovery product, for people who are just average exertion lifestyles, all the way up to people who are hitting it hard and going to the gym every single day and working out like crazy. It's a huge recovery product for them as well. Now, I just wanted to cover that at a high level. So if you've never, if you're watching this later, you hadn't heard of Cerule, you hadn't had a chance to look at it yet, you just clicked on this video. I just wanted you to have an idea of the type of products that we put out. And again, this is a very abbreviated presentation, but guys, we have dozens and dozens of peer-reviewed scientific studies, and all of this can be found on our websites, where you can do as much deep dive research as you want to, and read testimonials, et cetera, to come to your own conclusion about just how powerful that product and the other products we have are. Now, what I want to do here is shift gears and talk about this opportunity from a specific standpoint of those of you who are connected to sharing, because you have some opportunity with us that no one else has, right? We've done some very unique things because of the heart of the leadership of sharing that we've seen, and just the fact that we've got some clear goals that we share about helping people, and some philanthropic endeavors. So we wanted to do some things unique for sharing. So Dr. Gamet and Dr. Amy have this website, and you guys already probably know about it, the prosperclub.com. But if you go to dna4u.com, it will redirect you back to this particular page. And I just wanted to show you some screenshots of what they've actually put together for you. So it talks about repair and recovery, which is obviously what we discussed. It goes through some of the products. So the hydroactive product I just told you about, the Cyactive product for inflammation, plasma flow for circulation, and the stem cell product, which is about renewal and repair, and optimizing your body's self-healing mechanism. And then after it goes through that, and again, I've skipped around on the site between that last slide that I showed you here and this next slide. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other cool information. There's even some videos that they've included there that do a really good job of explaining the products and the relationship of the products. So I would definitely suggest, if you haven't looked at dna4u.com, which is sharing site, you go do that and absorb that. But after all that, it comes to this resolution 2, which is, how do you build a massive residual income through Cerule? And Dr. Gamet and I talk all the time about the ability for people to go out and refer other people to develop leverage. And I thought it was interesting when we started talking about this model, because Cerule pays through, they're going to pay through 7 levels. And it's a full payment through 7 levels, which means we have something called dynamic compression. So, as you might understand, if you've built a team through 7 levels, just because that's your 7th level doesn't mean the team stops, right? The people on the 7th level, they're just getting started. So you're going to eventually have an 8th, 9th, 10th, 20th, 50th, et cetera. And the interesting thing is, when we actually look to qualify people for ranks and for bonuses and for all those things, we actually count your volume through infinity. So I want you to understand that we don't just count 7 levels of volume, we count your volume through infinity. And when we actually look to pay out our 7-level residual income with dynamic compression, it simply means that if you have some blank spots on some levels, right, we simply compress it down from the volume below. So you're always getting paid. Once you're building a deep organization, you're always getting paid a full 7 levels of commissions, which is massive, right? Because anybody who's ever built a big team before in the past, they know that eventually the real productivity in your team can start to move away from you, right, over time, right? So this makes sure that you're always getting paid on 7 levels of direct volume, even if some of those levels have to be compressed from the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th level, et cetera. But I want you guys to just, again, if you're watching this as a video, you can always freeze this, but just kind of look at these numbers. And I just want to tell you what they're based off of. So if you're looking at you going out and simply introducing this to 5 others, right? And I'm going to show you guys why you have a better introduction opportunity than anyone else in the entire company because of something unique we did for sharing. I'll show you that here in a second. But if you just introduce 5 other people who were interested in optimizing their health, right? They found value in the products that we were offering. And they were also interested in earning some additional money and kind of just continuing this, this whole plan, and that sharing is actually executing right now with us here at Cerule. Then you introduce the 5 people like that. And, I know that Dr. Gamet actually has a list of some of the products that they would suggest they know give a great blend, and that they've gotten testimonials back from. And, depending on which one of those products you order, you're probably going to end up with somewhere between 150 in commissionable volume up to maybe 200 or so in commissionable volume. So we actually took a median number for this particular example and said, let's base it off of 180 in volume, commissionable volume, so people could see what they were actually earning, what they were being paid. And what we saw was that with 5 people, 180 in volume, that's $900 in volume. You're getting paid 10% on that level one. You're picking up $90 in commissions. On your second level, those 5 go out and introduce 5. So now you've got 25 on your second level. That's 4,500 in volume. At 5%, you're paying your second level, it's $225. And that just continues down. Remember, we're paying through 7 levels. So just 5, finding 5 with nobody doing anything amazing. Again, just an average volume number, commission volume number of 180. It ends up being well over, or close to, I should say, $600,000 a month, which, even as I say that out of my mouth, is like an insanely ridiculous number. Like I always say to Dr. Gamet, you really want to show people that? Like, I mean, it's like such a crazy number, but he's like, hey, I'm telling you, man, the people here at Sharing, we're different. We are connected to a lot of people, and we get behind something, we can go out and knock it out. So, I mean, if they're going to go do it, there should be the reward for it. And that is what the reward. And I think what a lot of people have a problem wrapping their brain around is, if you ever did this, right? Remember, these are monthly consumption products. So people are ordering these products and they're reordering and reordering. That's not one time that's every single month, month after month after month. So, if you messed it up by 50%, or if you messed it up by 90%, you'd still be doing extremely well, and you'd still be helping a lot of people. But ultimately, the plan that Dr. Gamet and Dr. Amy really want to get behind here with Cerule is really just teaching people this idea of getting started, going out and ordering maybe 4 products or so to give you the volume requirement, but also the product mix to help optimize your health, and then going out and sharing it with 5 people as quickly as possible. I normally think about these in terms of months. Like, in your first month, you find your 5. And so I know Dr. Gamet's more aggressive than I was. First he was like, well, what if everybody did it in 2 weeks? And then it was, hey, what if everybody did it in a week? And I was like, man, that kind of math just makes my head spin. But again, you can be as aggressive as you want, is what it really comes down to, guys. So you can be as aggressive as you want. Now, what I want to show you is that that's just some of the stuff they've included on the site. The other thing they included on the site, and again, I skipped around a lot on the site. The site's way more detailed than these few screenshots that I'm showing you, is this wealth map, which I think is tremendous. I think it's one of the coolest things that I've seen somebody do on their site with regards to Cerule, which basically talks to you and shows you everything you need to do to get to our 50K rank, which I'm going to show you in a second, our 200K rank, 200K, which would make you a president in our company. Then our 500K rank, which makes you a chairman, and then the road to 1 million in volume and 2 million in volume, and what all those different things we're going to allow you to do. So each one of these just drops down, and it just tells you some volume numbers. And then they talked about our $1 million bonus. And I get so many questions about this. People are like, I can really earn $1 million in bonuses. Like, is that true, or is that just hype, or how does that actually work? And yes, yes, it's true. You can earn with Cerule $1 million in bonuses, right? And it's absolutely true. When you look at our rank advancement, you see everything you need to do to qualify for everything from the very beginning at IBO all the way up to chairman, right? And you start to understand what it's about, right? It's about how much volume you have. And I'm going to break this down for you guys even further to show you why that plan that Dr. Gamet and Dr. Amy put together, why it's so powerful and why it goes beyond just that residual income. But you start to see the amount of volume you need to hit these ranks. You see what your monthly order total you want to be, et cetera, or the amount of customers you want to help, et cetera, to get there. And the reason why we have the 50K here kind of outlined is because for a lot of people, that's their first real successful landing spot where they get some incredible rewards. And one of the rewards you get for that is to go to an all expense paid trip to Hawaii with us, which I actually attended last month, and which Dr. Gamet and Dr. Amy want to have the largest team in the history of Cerule attend that event here in December of 2024. So we are definitely looking forward to getting that done. But with all of those ranks that we have rank advancement rewards. And that is where the magic, if you will, really starts to kick in for Cerule. You know, for a lot of people, they don't, you know, they see this and then they're wondering about it. But the rank advancement rewards is where it starts to get really fascinating for Cerule, because at every rank that you accomplish, you're going to get a one-time bonus. Now, if you accomplish it whenever you feel like it, you know, taking months and years to do it, you'll get these standard reward bonuses. But if you accomplish it on what we call fast track, where we say, okay, if you can hit 1K in your first month, we'll give you a $100 bonus, and 3K, one month after you hit 1K, we'll give you a $300 bonus. Then you can actually go out and you can get these bonuses here, which add up to roughly $10,000 in bonuses. Now, I know that's a far cry from $1 million, but I just want you to understand the concept of hit it and get it, right? You get these ranks and you get these bonuses. Now, where it gets crazy is what happens beyond the 50K rank, which is when you get to our 100K rank and above. Because then as you're able to hit and maintain levels, we're giving you, you know, $15,000 worth of bonuses on the table for you if you're able to hit and maintain the 100K rank. Another 50,000 for hitting and maintaining the president's level, right? Which is 200,000 in volume, right? Another 100,000 for hitting and maintaining what we call Chairman 20, which is a chairman who has no presidents at all on their team, right? So 500,000 in volume, no presidents on your team, you get 100,000. But then if you have just one president on your team as a chairman, you'll get another 25K. 2 on your team as a chairman, another 25K. 3, another 25K. And 4, we call you Chairman 100, and you'll get another $250,000 in bonuses. And then when you get up to $2 million in volume, you are now maintaining that volume. You get another $500,000 in volume, which adds up to a little over $1 million. So ever since we rolled this out, we've had people that they've started to rank advance a lot quicker. I wonder why. Because they've understood like the value. Now, for us, what's cool about this is we know that when we talk about volume that you need to get to maintain these positions, that volume is products, right? That volume is a lot of people that you are helping with our incredible products. So when people say to me, why would you guys be willing to pay out this kind of money? It's absolutely insane. It's because we know what's coming on the other end. You know, we understand the value proposition of properly financially incentivizing the people who help us get the word out about our incredible products. And so that's where the $1 million bonus actually enters into the equation. Now, what I want you to do is kind of think about that for a second and then look at this example again, this 5x7 residual team income. So again, we talked about the 1K. So by the time you actually got to your second level, actually long before you got to your second level, between your first level and second level, you would have hit 1K and 3K, right? And then shortly after you hit your second level, you would have got to 3K, right? And actually you add all these up, you get 7.5K and 25K. And then after that, shortly after that, you would get to your 50K level and your 100K level. Remember, the 100K is where we kick in a $15,000 worth of bonuses. You're going to accomplish that right around just actually right before you get completed through level 4. Then it gets really crazy, right? Because before you even get to level 5, you've definitely kind of eclipsed the 200,000 in volume for you. I'm sorry, for you to be a president, right? Which is another $50,000 in bonuses. And by the time you've gotten to level 5, not only have you hit chairman, but if you've done it right, and you're helping your team do the same thing, well, you're actually at Chairman 100 with 4 presidents. So you're getting a ton of that money right there. right? Pretty much. I think if you add it all up, you'd be at about $500,000 in bonuses that you've gotten. And by the time you get to level 6, you have over 2 million in volume. You guys can see that. You'd actually would have earned already $1 million in bonuses from Cerule just for rank advancement while you're building this insane residual income. So that's how I wanted people to think about it. And we wanted to do this call just to talk a little bit about that strategy, how we came up with it and why we came up with it, because it allows you to really maximize what's happening in Cerule on both sides, right? From a standpoint of the residual income and also from a standpoint of the bonuses that have gotten a lot of people excited. Now, where you have a unique advantage at is that anyone who is in the team of Dr. Gamet, anybody that's a member of Sharing, because we've coded our computer to recognize anyone who's a member of Sharing, right? You actually have a sign up part of your back office that no one else has, right? So when people go to sign up anywhere else in the world and they're not a member of Sharing, they see these options starting from starter pack on down. But if they are a member of Sharing, they also are going to see this share economy promo pack right at the top. And you may have noticed it, but it's actually free. So they're able to sign up for free and simply order products, right? Which means they actually have a simpler entrance into the Cerule system than everyone else, right? And this is because we really respect and appreciate everything that Sharing is doing and for people and where their hearts are. So this allows you to get directly in there for free, which is very strong, right? Now, once you're actually in there, so you can go out and you can promote to people, hey guys, just sign up, order a handful of products, and start finding some other people, and you're on your path to be able to get it done. And that is very powerful. And again, that's something that no one else has the ability to do. But you guys are fortunate enough to be associated with Sharing, so you can do that. So I wanted to I'm gonna see if I can magnify again yeah, because I couldn't see anybody. I do. And Jan, I'm gonna turn it back to you and see if there are any questions that people might want to ask or if there's any questions you have or things that you'd like me to elaborate upon, or if you feel like that is good enough. And I think I can stop. There you go. I can stop sharing my screen so we're not
Awesome.
taking screen.
Thank you very much, Brian. You are amazing. What I would love people to understand about what the product that you have is how incredible it is.
Mm-hmm.
And when I talk about Cerule, I often will say, when I was in my 30s and I had come back from being a missionary in Ecuador, I was deathly sick. I thought I was going to die. And it was spirulina algae that saved my life at that point in time, a company called Celtec. And I was blown away by what it did, because I prayed to die, and I was 35.
Wow.
But I was that sick. And I was to the point where I literally did not use a knife in my kitchen because I had insomnia so bad that I was afraid to use a knife. So my life in my 30s was like hell, and it was spirulina algae that saved my life. Interesting enough, in 2000, when did I meet Greg? 2007. I met, the man who became my husband, and he was a leading scientist in the field of spirulina algae. So I learned a lot more about algae. And then, of course, Amy and Theodis introduced me to Cerule. And so I understand that this is an incredible product, and I have had now decades of experience using it. And I attribute the use of it to the fact that at my age, I have more energy than people half my age. And people all the time say, you don't look your age. I think that's a huge reason, is the level of nutrition. So the product in itself is amazing. And what you have done with this product is amazing. And then you have this incredible compensation plan. as well. And I've been president of a network marketing company. I have been involved in many network marketing companies. And to see what you have done is really very, very special. And the level of commitment, Brian, that you have to this is really second to none. And, I've seen that because we're working on a humanitarian project in Kosovo now. And, I've had a chance to see how you show up, and you show up every single time. So as much as it's even lucrative and we can, get all, starry-eyed about the numbers,
Mhm.
for me, it's the background of what we're looking at with Cerule. You are stable. You've been around for a long time. You have a solid compensation plan. You have solid products. You can call your support. They're there. They get stuff done. They
Mhm.
are real. There's an office here in Canada. There's that's the kind of stuff that for me, I'm really excited about building with this, because you're real. You are there for us, and you have amazing products and support.
Jen, it's funny you should say that because, today I spent the earlier half of my day for several hours recording an interview with the owners, right, which will be available after it's edited, and they put the movie magic on it. But one of the questions that was asked of them was, what is the Cerule advantage? And their response, they started off by saying, listen, you see so many companies these days that they're just a shiny new object. But you start to realize there's a pattern, right? It's grand opening, and then 15 minutes later, grand closing, right? And, and it's like, wow. And, and they start talking about the stability of Cerule, and they said, at our core, it's because we have real products backed by real science that produce real results. And when you have that, right, when that's what's at your core, everything else kind of falls into place. Then the pay plan stops being pie in the sky, and it starts being something that's achievable, because behind it are products that people, once they try them, they want to continue to buy them. So you don't have the attrition that you have with so many and so many. So it's just weird as you were talking about that. I was like, man, was she on our call? Was she on the interview? Like, but it's just incredible that just how solid the company is, and how dedicated the ownership is to really not only, I mean, really just really having a tremendous effect on people's health, which they've seen since the beginning of the company, but also they're excited about how that allows them to transform people's lifestyles as well. We got two owners who have, I call them the two international men of mystery, because they've not only traveled all over the world, they've lived and worked all over the world. Andy, I think at 29, moved to London for a promotion to run a network marketing company, and then after helping them build there, then he lived in Russia for a year and a half, building their division there. And then he went and lived in Cyprus for a year and a half, building the division, that kind of stuff, but they realized that as they traveled all around the world, worked all around the world, most people that they encountered, who even were incredible people, they were not financially solvent enough to not only live their dream lifestyle, but even really give their families the life that they knew their families deserved. And that's why they were so focused on creating a network marketing company where they could allow people to experience leverage without any judgment about what they had accomplished before in their past or didn't accomplish before in their past. A true level playing field where, and I believe the way Andy phrased it was, if you show up with a work ethic and a dream, we've got a game plan for you. And it's just I love this industry. But I really love this company and what they're doing in this industry by offering these real products with real science, and then allowing people to share them with others and really benefit from it. And I'm very excited about working with Sharing, because I see so much alignment in the thought processes of the leadership of Sharing and the leadership of Cerule.
So you mentioned a couple of things, and one is that if you go into your back office, the scientific studies on these products. So this isn't just some hype that this stuff works. You have amazing scientific studies. And,
Yes.
I have looked at them, read them, and it's second to none. So we have validation that these actually work, which is huge, because people
Yeah.
always say, well, how do I know it's going to work? And why
Yeah.
is this different than something I can buy at the drugstore off of Amazon? So
Right.
that's a huge component. The fact that you've been around for as long as you have is also, for me, huge, because we all love Amy and Theodis, and they do an amazing job of trying to bring us opportunities, but sometimes those are opportunities that are fresh out of the oven, and we're going, are they going to be around in a week or
Mm-hmm.
a month or a year from now? And that's
Mm-hmm.
the reality of our world. What I love about you as a company is that I know you've been here for how many years?
This is our 8th year now.
Okay,
This
8 years.
this is our 8th
And you
year.
have a solid foundation. You have the things in place. You're not going away next week. So I'm not going to
No,
work hard to build a team and really work at this and then find out that, hey, you're gone.
that's right.
And I think that's super important.
That's right.
And we do have a lot of crypto opportunities as well, which
Mm-hmm.
for some people is just they don't want to get into that. That's not something that's relevant to them, and they don't want to do that. But
Yes.
with you, health, everybody's interested in health. Everybody wants to feel better. Everybody wants to look better. So
Right.
that's easy to talk to people about.
Yeah. Until
So
they
there's
start
just
putting
some
us,
really good things.
yeah, until they start putting us in robot bodies, we're all going to need to be worried about our health.
We're all going to need to be
You
concerned.
know, yeah.
So let's open it up. If anybody has any questions that they want to ask Brian, this is an awesome opportunity. You're going to be with us every Wednesday night. Is that correct?
I don't know if it was every Wednesday
Or
night or every other Wednesday night or whatever the schedule is. But
But
here's what I would say.
we're going to be seeing you on a regular basis.
Yes, on a regular basis, and that I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of the things I said to Dr. Gamet was, listen, I want to make myself infinitely available to your team, right? Because it's one thing that we can do these things together like we're doing right now. But it's very possible, Jan, you had some incredible gentlemen and that wanted to do something in Kosovo where it's not going to be a team meeting. It's going to be a separate webinar, or someone else might have a group of leaders that say, hey, we just want to take a look at it on our own. Can we get a private? So yeah, I am very available because I believe in what sharing is doing, and anything I can do to help build success stories for the members of sharing. I know that those success stories will go to the overall, mission of sharing. So yes, I'm available whenever needed, pretty much.
And you've certainly proven that with us. And by the way, when you gifted David and Roy, the STEM enhance and the products,
Yes.
I have now met both of them in person
Oh,
and, love
okay.
them both. Yeah, love them both.
Awesome.
And David, when I met him down when I was in Nevada, we ended up going, I ended up at his home and got to meet him and his wife. And
Hmm.
he said to me, so where do I get some more of that, that STEM enhance that,
Yeah.
Brian gave me? So he remembered, and he was considered himself an expert in STEM enhanced products, and he asked for yours.
Nice.
Okay, so
Nice.
that
Very
was
nice.
pretty cool. Yes, it was.
Very nice.
So does anyone have any questions they want to ask Brian while we have him here? Unmute yourself and ask, or about the compensation plan, anything? No, seems everybody's happy and satisfied, Brian. So
Okay.
thank you very much
Yeah,
for
you're
your
very welcome.
information.
And looking forward to us doing this again. And Jen, I appreciate your not just your expertise, but your background knowledge about this particular product set. I think it brings a lot of value to these webinars. So I always enjoy doing them with you. So
Yeah, no,
thank you
it's
so
been
much.
awesome.
Actually,
Thank you.
Jan, I'm sorry. I do have a question now that you said goodbye.
Yes. No,
What
not to say
now
goodbye.
that you said goodbye, hold on a second.
Just slip in there under the wire,
Right.
Joe. Okay, go ahead.
What I'm interested in is how do I talk to people about this product? I've been taking this product for quite a while now, and I've noticed amazing difference.
Mhm.
But how do I need training on how do I introduce this product to my friends?
Right.
I
So
want that kind of training of what to say and what not
sure.
to say.
Sure. So first of all, your personal story is your personal story, which is always incredible, right? Because it gets people's attention. I'm a big believer in the idea of using the marketing tools, and which are the videos that we have, right? So we have a video that gives a very simplistic overview of how these products work in concert. And it's actually an idea that I got from Dr. Amy. You know, we were just talking one day about the best way to talk about this. And she said, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you're always saying it's a biological 911 call. These are kind of like the first responders. And then boom, I went to Cerule and we put together a script and had them, you know, and they made a video about it. But it really just shows, like, you know, what's going. And I'm a big believer in using those tools. And the reason why is because, you know, I almost like to say I grew up in network marketing, right? I got involved in my first network marketing company when I was 23 years old. So still wet behind the ears, still pretty young. But one of the things I realized, and it took me a while to get this, I kept hearing it, but people will do the business the way that the business is done to them. So if you take time to try to learn every little detail there is to know about every product and every expertise detail there's to know about our pay plan, and then you go to them and you give them all of that, they're going to say, okay, so when I get started, I have to learn all that stuff as well before I go talk to anyone, which completely destroys any chance you have of momentum. Versus if you say, hey, here, you know, I want to talk to you about an incredible product I came across. Here's what it did for me. And then you tell them your story with your passion and your, you know, and how genuine you are, and say, and I listen, I just want you to learn about it, because whether you want it or not, I think at the very least, you need to know that it exists. You need to know that something like this is out there. And so I just want to share a video with you. It's only going to be about 5 minutes. When do you have about 5 minutes to take a look at it? And that's it. And they say, well, I could take a look at it now. You know, say, great. You know, and you can go right to your Cerule back office and there's a shareable link, and you can simply copy that link and email it right over to them. You know, and they can watch that video and then call you back. And it's like, what did you like best about it? And then you can go from there. So that's just an example of just the one product. But we have videos for all of our products. We have something called product fact pages for every product. So you don't have to try to memorize all the ingredients and the science and all. The product fact page has every single ingredient, why it's good for you, what it does, how it actually adds to the formulation, and here's some scientific studies. So, I mean, at Cerule, we have incredible marketing tools to take all of that burden off of you of feeling like you need to be an expert. And the one thing I've seen is the people who take that approach, they move and grow so much faster, right? Because I can send 10 people a link to a video at the exact same time. But if I'm explaining it myself, I can only explain it one at a time, right? You know, and the other thing is, when I explain it to somebody and I spend an hour of my time explaining how it works, and they say, okay, great, thanks for sharing it with me, but it's not for me. It's hard not to take it a little personally, right? Because you feel like they're saying no to you because you just spent an hour of your time explaining it. When I send you a video and you're not interested, it doesn't bother me at all. You know, it's like, hey, I guess I didn't like the video. You know, maybe they didn't like the music or some, you know, and it's just to me, it's a much easier and cleaner way to do the business. Does that answer your question?
That makes sense, Joe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's
You know what, and
Thanks.
I think a key here too, Brian, is to not be embarrassed by saying, I don't know.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know, I say that all the time about everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can find out for you. You know, and
Yeah.
so you do, right? You don't have to be a walking encyclopedia. I think though, Joan, if I was thinking of, as I've been thinking about it, you know, today people, we have an aging population and they are not feeling good. They just aren't. For the, you know, you rarely see someone who is, you know, in their 50s, 60s, 70s, who's just super vibrant and got tons of energy. And you think, you know, my goodness, you know, you look and feel and act like you're 30. And so, you know, from just that standpoint of how would you like to look and feel, you know, 10 years younger?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with the STEM enhanced product, I actually do believe you can do that because it's rebuilding and going in and repairing. And what happens with most people is they think, oh, I have diabetes, or I have cardiovascular disease, or I have whatever, you know, the list is endless. But really, do they know what's really wrong with them? I mean, they don't.
They don't.
The doctors at best are guessing based on what tests they gave them.
That's
So
right.
what I love about algae, and I mean, I spent, 15 years with my husband, a leading scientist in the world of spirulina algae. So I am well versed in this on this topic. The thing about spirulina algae is it has the capacity to go in and determine where your issues are and fix them. So that's what I love. Am I right, Brian?
Yeah. I mean, as you say that, I mean, I know, first of all, I know if you just listen to your people in your circle, they will say things that give you some natural ends, right? They will talk about an ache or a pain or a doctor's visit they just had, and they got some news that was a little, alarming or whatever. But one of the things I always say to people is, especially anybody who's over the age of, let's say, 40, right? Which is obviously, I mean, the vast majority of my circle, right? Except for when my daughter's friends have me coaching their softball team, but it's the vast majority of my friends who are all over the age of 40. And whenever I'm around, I say, do you remember when you were in your 20s, how quickly you used to bounce back from everything? Like it didn't matter, right? A cut, a bruise, a break, you know, a long weekend of hanging out with your friends, right? I mean, you just had this ability to just bounce back. And every time I say that, everybody says, "Oh man, what I wouldn't give," you know what I mean? To experience those days again. And I say, "Well, how'd you like to have a shot at experiencing that again?" And they're like, "What are you talking about? A time machine?" You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I'm talking about this incredible product called Stem Enhanced Ultra, which some people are calling the fountain of youth in the bottle. But rather than me try to explain it to you, when do you have 5 minutes, man? I watched this video, it blew my mind, and I've been an advocate of the product ever since. And they're like, yeah, send it to me. Like so again, there's always these little things. I mean, if you get to know me, you'll know I'm not like a script guy. I'm more of a philosophy guy, which is my philosophy is approach and peak and then share a tool. I always want to be the commercial and not the show. You know what I mean? It's like, because I don't want people to say, I got to learn how to talk about that like he talked about it, so it's always about being the commercial and not the show. So it's always about sharing a tool because, again, everybody can do that. Everybody can do that.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Brian. I hope that's given everyone a bit of a taste of you, who we love. I mean, I just love you to bits. And, I can't say enough good things about you. And also, the products and then the compensation plan, the company, the stability of the company, the fact this is something that's timely. We have an aging population that does not feel good and they don't know what's wrong. And you can't even get a doctor. Something happened a couple of weeks ago. And they said, well, why don't you just go check the doctor? I go, Canada? Are you kidding? I haven't had a family doctor now for how long? Are you serious? Ain't gonna happen. You got to be able to fix yourself these days. So
Right.
That's why I love it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Let me just see. There was someone here in the chat. Let's just make sure. Oh, Caroline, thank you for a great call. I have to dash my next Zoom. Catch you all in the next one. So I know Caroline is on your products and a huge advocate of it. So thank you again. And we look forward to next Wednesday in the health call with you.
Awesome.
Or
have a great day, everyone.
Else.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joan. Bye-bye.
Sure.
Hello,
Okay.
this is Bobby. I was at the dentist, so I couldn't get to you. But tomorrow, I want to listen in again. Okay?